with Chris King, and we were talking about working on a track. And Trippie Redd is an expensive feature. I'd say he's like, maybe I'm tripping or not, like 50K at least. But he's like, yo, I fuck with you a lot. And this is when I first started music. This is like me like 4 months in, and I flew out to LA because Warner Brothers flew me there to do a music video. And I was on the FaceTime with Chris King, and Trippie Redd's like, yo, honestly, you know, I'm here to make my bread, but I also want to fuck with you. He's like, if you can get AK American, I'm gonna do this track, blah blah with you. And I'm like, fuck, I don't even have that right now. You know what I'm saying? At that point, at that time, and yeah, it was like a minor setback, but maybe one day. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely do it.
And you know what? When I was like listening to your music, like for the first time with some of the tracks with J-Mag and like with some other tracks on your own too, like it consisted with like a lot of like SoundCloud rap and more like alternative like trap music. So usually with that genre, like what's your like creative process when making that music, and what would a day in the studio be like for you by any chance?
Alright, so first of all, the music that I have out right now, like for example, Black Boom, Check the Time, you know, it's just music that's like was in at the time when I made it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not what I like. If you ask me which song I like that I have released, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Maybe my Spanish record, Quiero Saber, with Tikko from Cuba. He's a very famous artist down there. But I have a lot of music that I really enjoy, and it's like more of like a singing stuff, you know what I'm saying? But these days it's really hard to pop off something that's like, I guess, emotional, because you know how it is, right? You gotta like say nigga this, you say you're gonna shoot this in order to actually get a buzz. So my thing, I'm gonna do what X did, like when he came out with Look At Me, it was obviously a banger. It's like a SoundCloud type track, right? I want to like pop off a banger and then be like, damn, this is a banger. But then I'd release my real shit and people would be like, damn, I didn't know he was like that too. Because I'm very versatile. I can do anything, any type of music. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Yeah, like when I was like listening to Quiero Saber, recently, you transitioned like from singing and rapping in Spanish, and the video shows you performing, I think in Havana, Cuba, or like some other place.
I was in Veradero.
Oh, Veradero.
Havana and Veradero.
Oh, true. So tell me about like the track in general, and what was I think you told me before last year that you were like in Mexico. I don't know if it's like for performing or for other stuff.
Yeah, so I went to Colombia, Mexico, and Cuba for it's like a mini tour type thing. But my biggest show was in Cuba, and they have this genre called cubaton. Cubaton is basically Cuban Reggaeton, but it has a different beat structure than normal reggaeton. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. You know, if you really want to look at it, then you'd realize. But yeah, so I linked up with an artist called Tikko, but I met him through this guy named Franny El Fenomeno. Yeah, El Tico's like one of the biggest artists in Cuba. He did tracks with Chacal, El Chulo, El Camel. These are one of the biggest names in that genre. And you know, I guess he fucked with me and he's like, yo, let's do this track. We did the track and I'm like, I'm coming to Cuba next week, let's do a video. I bring my videographer, we go do the video. We have a show at the same time with one of the most famous DJs down there. His name is Adriano DJ. And we did a show, did a music video quick, you know, released that shit, you know. And me and El Tikko have another track coming as well, you know. He's a very amazing artist.
And like for the fan base so far, like in Cuba, Colombia, and Mexico, I guess they really like rock you hard, like in a way.
Yeah, for sure. And my Latin shit, like when I first released Quiero Saber, because I was never gonna, like, I never had like Spanish music in my head. I'm like, I love it, but I don't think I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, I released Quiero Saber and I got so much love from that. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? People actually fuck with it. So I made more Latin music. I have another track called Flauta. My next track is gonna be a Hispanic track, Latin reggaeton record. It's gonna be a banger.
No doubt, man. And I mean, like when you had like a lot of like other music too, like with the SoundCloud rap, you talk a lot about like heartbreak. You talk more about like heartbreak on the track, on those tracks. So, would you have like some real life experiences when dealing with relationships, and like with women, like in terms of like these issues? And do you feel about like the strong topics about the women like match up to what your music conveys in a way?
Uh, for the experience part, yeah, I had, I guess like one real heartbreak because before this girl, I actually thought like I fell in love before until I actually met this girl that I dated for like almost 3 years. And I'm like, damn, this is what love is, you know what I'm saying? But then, in the back of my mind, I always knew nothing is forever. So I always expected her. I guess that was the flaw of the relationship because I always expected her to leave, and which I was right, And I don't know. I just like I was always let down by people. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm never somebody to like depend on anyone. You know. And when it comes to the conversation of like happiness, like being with somebody and being happy, like I don't believe in happiness. You know.